Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So today we are going to be doing a craft, I guess, a DIY. We're going to be making a custom coat rack for your home. As you may have noticed, we recently moved into a new place. I looked high and low for coat racks that I liked, and I just wasn't really finding anything that I was in love with. And of course, I like to try to make anything I can myself before going to a store and buying it. So we are going to make one ourselves. It's really great to make it yourself, not only to save some money, but also to fully customize it to your home and your aesthetic and what you want it to look like and what you want it to say. So if you would like to learn how to make your own custom coat rack, then keep on watching. So what you're gonna need is a piece of wood. I just had this one laying around and I thought it was a good size, and some wood stain if you want to change the color, but it's not required. And then you're gonna need these brackets. They have a lot of different types of brackets, but this one is the double robe hook, and I liked the hardware and the look of it, so this is the one I chose, but you can pick any hook at Home Depot that they have. When looking for inspo and ones that I liked, this is the only one I found that I really liked, but it's just a piece of wood with some hooks on it, and I knew I could do that for myself. And it's $90. That's insane for literally a piece of wood. So I looked around just to see if there was anything else. This one is from Home Depot as well. It's more of a clean piece of wood instead of a natural piece of wood, but it's $70. That's insane. And then I found the exact same one from Home Depot for $143 at Wayfair. And if you wanted 4 hooks instead of 6, it's $113 at Joss & Main. That's crazy to pay for a piece of wood and some hooks. So I've linked for you guys in the description, but these Amazon ones look pretty identical. And guys, like, this is literally the same thing. All you need is a piece of wood. You can get whatever size wood that you want for your house, for your wall, whatever fits perfectly, and you can make it totally custom. This whole thing cost me $15 instead of $90. That's crazy. Why would you buy that? It literally is a 5-minute project. I also linked the wood stain that I'm using. You guys can use whatever wood stain you guys want, but just in case you were wondering, that is linked below as well. First things first, you're gonna want to stain your wood and make it whatever color or paint it and have it the way you like it. Once it's good to go, then you want to put your hooks onto it just to kind of get a feel for where you like them. If you want the hooks on the board or if you would rather them lower, hanging off. I personally think it's probably easier to hang things if they're hanging off, but it's totally up to you. And once you have a spot that you like, then you want to measure how long your wood is, and both lengthwise and like widthwise, so you know what you're working with. Once you have those measurements and you know the placement of your hooks, then you're gonna go and kind of map out your wood. So I just drew a straight line 2 inches from the bottom because I knew that that's where I kind of wanted my letters to end, because I'm gonna be writing a word on the top of the board, and I knew that's how much space I needed for my hooks to have enough room to not have any crowding. Now it is time for some math. So once you have the total length of the wood, that for me was 26.5, you want to divide that number by the amount of hooks you have plus 1. So I had 3 hooks, so I'm doing 26.5 divided by 4, which gives me 6.75. So I'm just gonna measure along the whole entire piece of wood in increments of 6 inches and 3/4. And it should be 3 different marks because there's gonna be 4 spaces. Okay, now the complicated part. So for the letters, you wanna make sure that they are evenly spaced on the board and roughly the same size to make it all proportionate. So this is a little challenging, and I can't give you an exact formula because every piece of wood is gonna be a different size. So that's gonna make every letter different sizes, as well as depending on the word you choose, that will also make it a different variation. So for me, I chose the words stay a while. So stay is 4 letters, a while is 6 letters. So it's a total of 10 letters plus a space in the middle. This is just kind of something you have to play with, and playing with proportions. Pick a size for your letters. So 1.5 is what I chose, and multiply that by the amount of letters. So for me, it was 10. And then you can kind of play around with spacing. So I went on Pinterest and I found a inspiration photo with the words I was using in the font that I liked, and I basically just emulated that and just drew with a pencil until I got it right. Just keep playing with it until you like it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You could also use a stencil if you had one. That would help a lot too. You can make it say whatever you want in any text, in any font that you want, and just play with it. Have some fun. Once you have it how you like it, then go back and erase those original marks we made, the spacing marks. Here's what it looks like now. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. And once you like it, then you're going in with a teeny paintbrush and whatever color paint you want. You can use multiple types of paint and just go over it. So now, once all your paint is dry, it's time to apply the hooks. So we had those marks from the very beginning already set, so we kind of know where the hooks are going to be. Make sure that that line that you drew is right in the middle of your hook, and then I basically just pushed it down to where I wanted it to hang and made sure it was straight. It's very important you make sure it's straight. And then with the screw holes, I just drew a pencil mark to know where to line it up when it was actually time to screw. And this is kind of my time to make sure they were all in line before putting holes into the wood, and it will just help you to prevent any mess ups. Now, I didn't measure exactly like how far onto the wood it was, but basically what I did was I just drew a straight line onto the hook to know where to line up for each one, and then I made sure they were all straight and just did that for all three. Then I just had Matt go in with the screws that came with the hooks and screw them exactly where those little marks that I already made were, and that just made it super simple and even. Then I went in with these brackets here. These are what I like to put on the back of the wall hangings I make, and they just come with little nails, so I just made sure that they were evenly spaced from both ends, and I nailed them into the wood. And I also made sure there was an equal space from the top of the wood to the bracket as well. Now it is time to hang. So I just took a step back and I had Matt hold it up so I could figure out where on the wall I wanted it and make sure it was the right height, because remember, you're going to be putting purses and jackets on this, so you want to make sure it's a good height for that. And then I just measured. I already knew where the brackets were on the back because we just put them on, so I just measured that same distance from each end, so that's how I knew where to put the nails. Alright guys, so that is how it turned out. It was definitely very challenging for me to freehand the words and get it exactly right, but at the end of the day, I'm so happy with how it turned out. I love it. I like that I actually had to challenge myself and practice my calligraphy and my painting skills. This project would literally take 5 minutes if you didn't do any lettering or painting, if you just screwed in the hooks. But I think that the words make it a little more homey, a little more personal, and you can put more of your personality into it and make it more perfect for your home. And just words like add coziness and a feeling to the piece. But you do whatever you want. If you guys do this, please share a picture on Instagram or on Twitter or whatever and tag me in it so I can see it. I think it turned out so cute. Now, before I end this video, I do want to talk about something that I felt during the process of making this. And that is perfectionism, because when you're making DIYs, you're kind of comparing it to things you're seeing on Pinterest or that you've seen in the store. And a lot of those things are factory made, just printed onto the items and off of the computer. So there's no human error. And for me, I noticed that when I make things like the frame behind me, if you watch that video, like, it's not perfect, but I made it and I love how it turned out, and it was really inexpensive. And I noticed for myself, I get really frustrated when the corners don't match up right, or the letters aren't perfect, or the lines of each of the letters on the signs weren't like straight, or the letters were not all the same exact size. And no matter how much planning, like I did math to figure out how much space should everything be, it just doesn't always line up perfectly. At the end of the day, we are humans, and I just wanted to talk about realizing that you're a human and it doesn't have to be perfect, and learning to love that, because I've had this frame behind me up for weeks now. I never noticed imperfections. With the sign I made today, it was very frustrating for me to not have it perfect, but like when Matt sees it, or my roommate sees it, or our guest sees it, like nobody's sitting there inspecting if each line is perfect. And really, it's just you see the piece for what it is and you appreciate it for what it is. Like, nobody's paying attention to those teeny details, and even if they see them, it just shows that you made them and you're human, and it didn't come from a factory. It wasn't printed. Like, you put work into that. And something that I have to remind myself, and I wanted to share with you guys, is there's beauty in that, there's charm in that, there's character in that, and it just shows that like you made it. So anyways, I just feel that a lot with DIYs, and I'm trying to embrace that character, and I wanted to share it with you. I have to say though, making it myself, at the end of the day, I'm always so proud of, one, the fact that I save money, and two, of how it looks. Like, I've never done calligraphy before, nor have I ever painted calligraphy and like letters like that before, and I see it on my wall and I like love it, and I'm so proud of it, and I'm so excited to share what I made with other people. So I definitely think that doing it yourself, even though it takes more time and is a little more difficult, is like so rewarding. So yeah, I really think that if you see something and you think you can make it, always give it a go. Every time it doesn't always work, but I think it's so much fun to try and like fill your home with things you made. It just feels like so much more homey. I don't know. Anyways, I'm ranting. Okay, if you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and hit subscribe down below to see more of me. If you guys make this, please share it. I want to see your versions. And as always, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye guys.